So to be frank, like I was childhood electronics enthusiast from like 6 to 7 years old. I was used to play this toy, electronic toys, then making some research on that, then just modifying the existing toy cars with some other modification doing just. So at around like 10th standard, I was used to play with this audio amplifiers, then making my own audio amplifiers and board assembly kind of it. I was more into it. Then during after my higher secondary, like I joined the college where I pursued electrical and electronics department. So from the starting day onwards, just I was more into practical thing, not theoretical kind of it, but more of practical kind. So I was more engaged on myself. So I got some way interest and I continued my journey. So from that, so we used to like during colleges we used to develop projects. So based on that, we got some industrial connects, and we have worked with them in the real time products. So after that, like 2 years, I worked in an electronics company. Then I found myself that I did not grow much more there, and I just quit the job and started my own company. So like using the existing clients and everything, I just we did a project for them. Then I joined this Two Hands Private Limited as a partner. So in that we created calculator, and the journey is so far continuing. So what I would say is like when someone is approaching you with an idea, whenever they started communicating their idea in your mind, you should have the ability that what are the possible solutions for this existing idea, this proposed idea should be a possible solution. So
Yeah.
if that comes into your mind, then everything is sorted. Thus you can convince them and you can take the project. That's what like open box thinking, out of box thinking. Prototyping, what we usually do is like we will look for the readily available modules. Like for basic testing, we will look for available modules. If anything like customized is there, we will use the tools like the TI, the procurement tools and everything. So we will find out the exact part which matches the requirement. So based on that, we will develop the prototype. Then we will look for the other alternative parts or else alternative solutions for the existing ideation. So initially, like prototype, you don't need to think of cost and everything. Just you need to think of like whether my idea will be working or not. In terms of consumer electronics perspective, no one is going to look inside what it is there. Only they will look how beautiful external it is. That's the thing. So for that, enclosure and the outer body makes sense, and it should be more aesthetics, and as well it should be attractive. And first perspective is there. We need like whenever they see the product, they need to buy it. They should not think of other products or kind of. That's why like that the design should be inside that hardware and everything. That's not much more, they are not going to visualize that. That's apart. So apart from that, initial low volume production, there are two options. Like even for calculator, what we did is like initially we validate our idea through 3D printing. After that, before going to injection molding, we made a vacuum casted product. So like 5 to 10 pieces we made through vacuum caster and find the difficulties. What are the in injection molding and everything? We figure out in this vacuum casting itself. So once we are okay with the vacuum casting, we enter into injection molding. So these are like initially even for 100 units you can do through vacuum casting and validate your idea. So
So
after that, injection molding, everything is comes into the cycle. So building a smart calculator is a challenge. Like we need to initially like we know how calculator works. So on top of it, the firmware is the most critical point of operation.
yeah,
Hardware we can build, but firmware is the most perspective thing. Like each and there are multiple internal tasks are running, so that
yeah.
you're able to communicate with the cloud, then capturing the data from the user. Everything we analyzed, and like initially we what we did is like just through controller itself we mapped this gps and everything, and we tested basic calculation. But at certain point of time we found that the pins control gps, so everything is not enough, and it is difficult to handle everything. So what we did is external, like we use this controller ics for the communicating with the user, keypad mapping. So on top of it, we build the calculator. Like keypad is the main thing which captures complete input of the user, and controller which performs connectivity with cloud and the external displays and everything. So on top of it, hardware we have like around 4 versions of hardware we built, and after that only we finalized that this is the perfect hardware which suits our requirement. So then we started developing the enclosures. So on top of enclosures, this printings, everything is a challenging part. Like if you see the calculator, there will be two transparent parts will be there. So that like initially what we did is we made a right angle 90-degree like that it's a transparent part. We made that as a 90-degree, but we did not find any vendors who supports this 90-degree printing on top of screen printing. So we changed at the end stage, we completely changed the design of top panel and we made it into two separate plain pieces. Then we printed on top of it. These are the challenges, like on top of it, like these design issues, then minor fitment issues, everything has arisen and we sorted out, and it is growing gradually. This nearby kirana stores, they will be using pen and paper for recording the transaction. So we found that on an average, like if the customer is having 200 to 300 like approx 150 to 200 transactions, every transaction they will be noting in pen and paper, and after that at the end of the day they need to have a tally, like manual addition and total amount what they have made and the say expenses. So we found that they are using the calculator for making these calculations. Why not we enable them to record the transaction calculator itself? So we thought that and we made this product. So in this they can record the sales and expenses. Like there will be two buttons, cash in and cash out. Cash in the sense sales, cash out is expense. So if someone is making sales now, they can type the amount and they can make it as sales, and the same for the expense. So at the end of the day, there will be a cumulative data in the mobile app itself. So it will be calculator will save the data in offline. Once it's connected with Wi-Fi, it will sync the app to our cloud service. So in cloud, like we have our mobile application, so where you can download your complete statements and analytics over there. So this enables them to make the accounting process much more easier. So in terms of technology, we incorporate IoT, like it's a base thing which communicate with the server. So on top of it, these analytics and everything we incorporate in mobile app itself. Main thing is support and the lead time. So for example, if you are approaching a vendor for the manufacturing, so they have their own lead time in the sense which is quite higher compared to the abroad countries like Taiwan or Chinese or any other countries, our developed countries. So that was a main challenging point for us to have a hardware fabricated over here and getting assembled here. So apart from that, the technology, like for example, in PCB itself, like only few vendors they have capability to make a higher precision manufacturing. So apart from there, like which is more required into electronics. So these should be developed, and I think so it is getting evolved day by day. As well, next to one big challenge is component procurement. So compared to like 3 to 4 years back, now the supply chain has been optimized, like irrespective of the lead time of the component. But the supply chain compared to previously 4 to 5 years, there are a number of vendors available for component sourcing and everything. So you can have multiple options of component purchasing, and you can have better opportunity for negotiating the prices. That's a big challenge which has been changed over a long period of time. Yeah. Currently smart calculator is the product what we are planning. It's the hence like partner company. So Icon Technologies, like we are a OEM supply for some few reputed banking industries, security system and the energy management system. So we are a OEM partner and we are supplying them like last 1.5 years hardware. Nearly around 2000 to 3000 device has been applied in ATMs around India. So we are OEM partner and we develop complete from end-to-end production to them, from design to production. We are supporting them. So electronics, like if someone is entering into electronics, they need to understand the core, like complete end-to-end solutions. Like for example, if someone is asking for, I need a solution for this idea, So they need to have the ability to select which component to use, which methodology or else with topology should I use to make a perfect solution. These kind of experience and the skill set they need to develop. Like it's not about only theoretical thing. They need to have practical over years of experience. Not even over the years of experience. If they are having a electronics as a hobby, they can easily find out the solution for that. So these things like understanding the core requirement of the design as well. They need to figure out a most possible solution for the problem. That's the thing. The skill set I will recommend for the engineers to come up with. Like not only like if someone is going to job then doing only the specified allocated task, then it is difficult for them to cope up with the latest technologies what are coming in. So they need to upgrade their skill set with the latest technologies. For example, even machine learning, IoT, then cloud
Yeah,
computing, everything.
exactly.
We are working with latest microprocessor and MPUs, MCUs with the leading manufacturers. So on top of it, like we working with cloud computing, machine learning, and everything.